Meanwhile, Nigerians are reacting to the September 1st deadline for the proclamation of laws to ban open grazing in southern Nigeria, earlier agreed on by the 17 southern state governors. Though most states are in the process of complying with the ban, 11 others are yet to comply, and some Nigerians shared their views with Arise News.
Number way that southern governors have always behaved. They have never been famed in defending the interest of southern people. Right? Anything that has to do with southern people, southern governors, in fact, generally all the southern leaders have always been like this. They have never firmly defended the interest of the southern people.
I think they're all cowards. The governors are cowards. Now, the federal government has no right over the state lands. Do you understand? There's an act on lands, and I don't think the federal government has a right to say the state should release their lands for open grazing. But I know very much the southern governors are cowards compared to the northern governors. In the first place, what does the headmen, or what do the headmen bring in? Do they pay taxes in the first place? They don't.
The southern governors, they are afraid, and when they collect bribe, you understand, bribe kills. You understand, bribe kills. That is the reason why sometimes they are afraid to come out boldly, you understand, to defend their state. That is exactly what I'm seeing.
It's possible they may have a general agreement, but maybe when some of them go back to their state, interact with their stakeholders, they may have a different opinion. That is why you see they are delaying.
Well, for more on this, we have Arise analyst MAHMUD JEGA. He's joining us. And then, of course, UDECHUKWU NNORUKA, a senior advocate of Nigeria. He joins us virtually from Oka in Anambra State. I'll get back to you, or we will get back to you, UDECHUKWU. But let's start with you, MAHMUD. Do you see a constitutional conflict between states signing of this open grazing law and the federal government's stance, insistence rather, the review of grazing reserves, and then, of course, the routes?
Well, the conflict that is brewing is political and executive. It's unfortunate that a national consensus could not be developed on this matter. And even among the southern states that agreed to pass the law by 1st September, as we can see, there are some discordant tunes at the level of passing the law in state assemblies, or in some cases governors assenting to the law, and some are even opting out. But most serious problems will probably arise at the level of implementation, even when the laws are passed, because if the federal government probably does not want its security agencies to be used in implementing these laws, then possibly many states will have to resort to the use of vigilantes and other local security agencies. And that kind of thing, you know, vigilantes sometimes they tend to do things in excess, and you could have chaos. So it is still not too late for the presidency to call all the governors together and find a national consensus on this matter before it leads to chaos.
Of course, UDECHUKWU, one of the recommendations in the 12-point plan of the 17 governors that agreed on that July 5th to put an end to open grazing is a call for the president to have that, very important dialogue on the security situation of Nigeria. Now, based on what MAHMUD JEGA has just said, implementation is where the challenge will be, and we're seeing that already in some states that have, banned open grazing, where there is a division between police. I mean, in some places, police is ready to enforce. In others, they're not even ready at all. As a matter of fact, I doubt if there's any state where police is ready to enforce. What do you foresee in this regard with enforcement?
Well, I foresee that we will continue to be a law-abiding nation, a law-abiding country, and that our institutions of government will be allowed to play their usual and normal roles. I do not see any dispute. Speaking as a constitutional lawyer, I do not see any dispute at this stage The reason I say this is that if there is any dispute, I expect both the federal government and the state governments to know that there is an avenue and a procedure provided for resolution of such disputes, and that any person, any part, any one of both the federal government and the state government should feel free to take the dispute, whatever dispute it may be, before an appropriate court, so that an interpretation of the necessary and appropriate laws and the Constitution can take place. It is not something that we should go to the mass media and pontificate about. In other words, I am saying that as it stands now, there is no dispute. The states have made laws which they have the powers to make. No one is contesting that those laws are within the powers of the state government. And no one is complaining that those laws infringe upon his rights. Not the federal government, not any citizen. So I don't see any dispute. Any dispute that is there is dispute in the court of public opinion. And we err when we take issues of this nature to the bar of public opinion instead of to the appropriate courts of competent jurisdiction set up by the Constitution.
So much, UDECHUKWU. To you, JEGA, you raised a very pertinent issue, that of implementation enforcement. I'm going to get back to that if time permits us. But let me go to what UDECHUKWU was alluding to there a while ago. Some SANs are advising the state governors to consult the various attorneys general to help the government, or to take the government to court rather. Do you think that the governors are treading softly? Should they go to court? Why haven't they gone to court if, like he said, this is the only way we're going to have to resolve this?
Well, he is right, of course, because if a state government passes a law within the concurrent legislative list, that is a law, and all security agencies are duty-bound to enforce that kind of law. But as we know, sometimes the reality could be somewhat different, especially where the matters are highly contentious politically. You know, you can go to court, but you know, it could take many years to resolve in high courts and appeal courts and the Supreme Court. So it is certainly much easier and neater if the executives at the federal and state levels can come together and work out a fair resolution of the dispute instead of waiting for 10 years for the courts probably to adjudicate.
Would you say that this decision by the 17 southern states is a test of federalism? And what do you make of the seeming, not working in tandem? Because at that meeting on July 5, all governors agreed, to go ahead and promulgate the anti-open grazing law. But gradually, more and more of them are saying, we're not part of this agreement. Imo State, for example, Anambra is saying we're going the way of a gentleman's agreement. And, Ebonyi, same thing. What do you make of that?
It's almost inevitable because politics will come in there. There are party considerations. There is a 2023 problem looming, and some governors, especially those of them that are APC, will worry whether it could cause personal problems for them politically in the run-up to 2023. So all kinds of problems, but otherwise this is a major issue for the country as a whole. And personally, I will still encourage all the authorities to sit down together and work out a resolution. It's better because even this court case, whereas that is the constitutional way to go, but it could take a very long time to resolve, yes.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, let me come to you, UDECHUKWU rather, well, UDECHUKWU NNORUKA, that is absolutely correct. Let me come back to you. MAHMUD raised the issue of enforcement and implementation. Now, you and I know that the forces that enforce these laws are owned by the federal government. You don't yet have state police. What you have are things like AMOTEKU. But then AMOTEKU is also subject to the police. For example, if they get somebody flouting the law, they still have to take recourse to the police. So how do you solve this quagmire?
There is no quagmire at all, except when we think that we will never get away from the culture of impunity that is tending to be part of our existence in Nigeria. I say this with emphasis because under the constitution we apply, under the constitution we have, decisions of our courts of law are to be obeyed by all, including the police. And it is these courts that have exclusive power to resolve disputes, civil disputes. Let me make it clear to everybody that it is not even the anti-open grazing law that makes open grazing unlawful. It is unlawful whenever it becomes a civil wrong affecting the personal rights of any individual. As far as the law stands, the only place where you take a grievance about infringement of your rights is the court of law. And then when a court of law makes a decision, the police have no option in the matter but to comply and obey the orders of a court. What I see is that our politicians shy away from placing disputes before courts because they want to continue to apply the rules of corruption and impunity. They keep matters in a state of flux, and then when it suits them, they tell you they are applying the principle of what did they call it the other time? Emergency or whatever. The fact is that there is
thank you for being on the program. Of course, our in-house analyst, MAHMUD JEGA, will also thank you for being on Newsline.